Welcome to GroWrk Visionaries, a series where we explore the intersection of innovation, technology, and the workplace of tomorrow. I'm Carlos, the CEO of GroWrk, and I'm thrilled to have Guillermo Diaz Jr. with us today. Guillermo is a renowned leader in the IT space with a wealth of experience in leveraging AI to shape the future of the workplace. This series is about uncovering insights from visionaries like Guillermo on how emerging technologies, particularly AI, are redefining IT in the workplace. With that, having been said, before we dive into the big questions, perhaps Guillermo, if you could, share a little bit of your background.
Well, thanks for having me, and I love that GroWrk Visionaries. I think this is, when I think about innovation, and obviously I come from a large corporate environment, and now in the startup world, I get to see both sides of it. But so, as you said, Guillermo Diaz Jr. I'm originally from a place called Pueblo, Colorado, but most of my life has been in California, and in tech. And I was in the Navy and learned about this thing called technology. And when I got out, I ended up in this other place called Silicon Valley, and with a good tech background and tech experience, I kind of was in the right place at the right time. So that really was serendipity for me, and ultimately where my career, where I spent most of it at Cisco Systems, as you know, and I was the chief information officer there for many years, and now I'm in the both in the entrepreneurial world and startup world, having my own startup called Conectado, which is focused with AI. And how do we actually build a workforce? How do we start that at the classroom level using immersive experience, 3D gaming, and AI to help journey map the students and learners from the classroom to career and ultimately to the boardroom, where I also sit on several boards, which I'm on the board of Blue Shield of California, which is a large healthcare insurer, as well as I'm on the board of Jack in the Box, so right here in San Diego, where I live now. So just thought I'd give you a little bit of background before we start, and I really appreciate the time.
Thank you, Guillermo. Thank you again for your time, and we look forward to having a great conversation with you. And look, I mean, you've been in the IT space for most of your professional career, and you really understand what's happening right now with the arrival of AI. And I'd love to hear from you. AI is clearly reshaping industries everywhere, right? How do you see AI changing the IT industry over the next few years?
Yeah, no, I and I always start with the funny joke, is like, hey, I may look 25, but I'm really not. I've seen Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, where the world's going now, and I don't think in my career that I've seen a technology shape not just the landscape of how we work, but how we live. Like every day, there's something new around AI, right? OpenAI has launched. They have the kind of the 12 days of Christmas. Every day now they're launching something new, which takes you just exponentially into the future, and the adoption rate of this technology is almost like an 89-degree angle. And so that is changing, especially in technology, in IT. It is changing not only how we work as IT professionals, but what we need to do to change ourselves to prepare our workforces and our companies and those around us, because our companies should be looking at IT as the game changers or the change agents of the organization. And if you're not looking at AI, someone else will. And someone else, I was saying, you guys hear it all the time, is, AI may not take your job, but somebody that knows AI may take your job. So if
100%.
I'm in IT, Carlos, I'm thinking I better be thinking about how do I skill up and look at the kinds of things that I need to learn that will help me and my organization adopt, accept, and change the mindset of how we move into this new era of AI, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And are there any AI driven innovations or trends that excite you the most right now?
Well, I think just generally how it helps you in your daily life. But, one of the things, and we kind of were working on some of this ourselves, is, we started off with, and as I moved to Conectado, we thought, how do one of the key challenges is, especially as you try to increase representation for those underrepresented. And, one of the areas I'm keen on is the Latino representation. And if you look at the sheer numbers, even just you look in California K through 12 system, there are 60% of the K through 12 students in California are Latino. 60%. And so how do you help them really think about what are the skills of the future? How do we look at that? But if you also look at what those probably, I know the younger generation, they're gamers, they're on social, they're on TikTok. So how do you meet them where they're at? So how do you look at immersive experiences, but also we called them initially when we started digital twins, and now we call them AI twins or agents. So this whole notion of an agent helping you and guiding you to what are the things that you should be doing, what are the things that you should be learning, what should you do next in your career, what advice would you give me? This whole notion of AI agents is something that I'm really, really interested in, and it's taking, sort of shape. Adoption of that is starting to happen. Not just the chat GPTs of the world, but people don't realize is that AI has been around for a long time.
Right.
And so how do I automate the things that are tedious tasks of what I do every day? How can an agent help me do that, to take over those things so that I can go do more value added things? And then when I do those value added things, guide me to how I should be, moving my money somewhere, or guide me how I should be coding something differently. And I think that's where these agents are really, to me, I think there's something really cool coming forward there.
100%. I think unlocking that time, right, to focus on higher value tasks is going to be critical. The amount of productivity that will be unleashed is like nothing that we've seen before. So I share that view. We did mention earlier that there's a lot of conversation around AI replacing jobs, but it also has the potential to augment human capabilities, and you should be afraid of not getting replaced, but not knowing how to use AI tools and someone else actually knowing that replacing you. So, are there any specific roles in IT or other areas where AI is already showing its potential to empower professionals?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, and I think if you look at, I've run large IT organizations for most of my career. The one thing that I always used to ask people is, how do we become more productive in running IT, right? IT honestly has historically for many, many years been looked at as a cost center versus a value center, right? Like, oh, let me, hey, Carlos, can you fix my PC? Right? Versus saying, hey, Carlos, can you give me advice on what I should be using for my AI, situation? Or how can we look at insights for my marketing plan? Right? Instead, historically someone comes, hey, can you fix my laptop or blah, blah, blah. It's like, so how IT changes the landscape of adding value. Well, to do that, wouldn't it be cool to go, hey, let me use something like GroWrk. Is like GroWrk, hey, how can you help me automate a lot of the things that I should be doing, uh, that I get called to do when I should be focusing on these other things. It's like, how can you help me automate those and add value to those so that I can be more productive? Then I could take my job and actually work my way out of a job, work my way into a more higher value opportunity where I'm now providing intelligence to my business, to my clients, and even to my team. Is like, how do I become a better leader overall? But in order to do that, like service agents, think about that. Service agents, taking things that I do every single day. It's like I wake up, I drink my coffee, and then boom, 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 I do these 5 things every day. Well, wouldn't it be cool to go, drink my coffee and watch those things happen, and then I could go add other kinds of value in the corporation, right?
100%. No, 100%. And look, ultimately here, at GroWrk, we are excited about using AI to, streamline IT asset management and enhance workplace efficiency, right? And you mentioned a few things here, agents which we're working on with already. From your perspective, what stands out about our approach, that could be the most impactful in the industry or the vertical where we are focusing to precisely provide the results that you mentioned.
Yeah, no, I think that's good. You mentioned asset management, right? So I would bet many people listening to this are still using Excel spreadsheets, right, to manage their assets or some form of, maybe proprietary data source or whatever. And it's hard because when the CFO or somebody wants to know about, hey, what are the CIO wants to know about my cost structure, it's hard to go do that, and it's a lot of manual work on the back end, right? And using an approach like GroWrk is hey, we can take that burden off and help you manage the assets in a much more automated way. And I think, and I know there's work on this in the roadmap for GroWrk, but even leveraging AI tools and AI, as agents to be able to help guide customers and clients through how can I, maybe at a push of a button get better insights into the assets that I have. How do I actually show the business that what we invested in and what they invested in is actually adding value is getting the ROI? Because most of the time, honestly, you invest in a lot of projects and a lot of infrastructure, a lot of capital, and then the reason why you invested it in the first place, there's no reports or there's no insights that show, hey, this is the ROI, and we are getting the value for that database or those laptops or whatever they might be. We are getting value from that, and then we're reusing them in other places or whatever the insight might guide us. But I think having a holistic view of that and taking my team and moving them onto more value-added stuff, right?
Right. No, 100%, 100%. And companies often face challenges around scalability, security, resource management. And I think a lot of the technologies that, AI specifically, obviously, could do a lot, in this area. So, the, how do you think, how do you believe AI can be leveraged to effectively address these pain points of enterprise, scalability?
Yeah, so I mean AI, and again, I think just for the listeners, yeah, I want to kind of address AI maybe a little bit more holistically, because there's a tendency right now, the way the world is to think about AI as Chat GPT, right? To think about AI as, well, Gemini or something that I type in and I get an answer. That's generative AI. But there's also, how AI helps me drive automation in my enterprise. How do I then take all of the tasks that, and the processes and put them into an AI type of system that can help me, get rid of the tedious tasks and automate those things. And so there's an automation component to that. But then there's the, okay, how do I learn from that? How do I drive machine learning and look at all of the different assets in my system, which then goes, how do I autonomize my my enterprise that helps me predict, whether it's in my IT infrastructure or whether it's in even my business, how can I predict where I should be putting my resources or my assets or whatever? So I just wanted to kind of maybe give a little bit of context to AI and the way that people think about, especially those that are new to AI. The last 2 years is really about generative AI, but AI has been around for decades. So they all now work together conjunctively, but you have to be thinking about how I use it as a tool, as a productivity tool for myself, how I use it to automate, and then how I use it to predict or autonomize my enterprise, right?
Right. No, 100%, 100%. And I think a follow up to that would be, what skills or, mindsets do you think will be critical for organizations and employees really to thrive in this AI driven, future?
I think everyone, and this is my opinion, right? And you can argue or not, but everyone in every industry, every job will have an AI component to it. Meaning that whether I'm in technology, a computer scientist, data scientist, those things that have not historically been, AI kinds of jobs, but even now as somebody in finance, I need to be thinking about how do I do all the things we just mentioned. I won't go over those again, but how do I get the quick answers and insights so that I can understand my accounting footprint, or in healthcare, right? I'm on the board of Blue Shield, so a lot in healthcare. How do we use that to help even patients, even remedial things like do remote diagnosis or even translation, right? Now you have to be careful because you want to make sure that you check the checker and the translation means what it really means, but before you can do that, and now you can. So there are a lot of things that still need to be worked out, but every industry. And so there's things like just basic AI literacy. some of the things that we do in our platform, understanding things like what is AI, what is machine learning, what are some of the use cases in these industries of financials, healthcare, technology, et cetera, all the different industries. And so I think there's a literacy component that everyone should be thinking about. Everyone listening on this call, especially.
100%. And I mean, I think you're exactly right. AI literacy is the driver. At least at GroWrk, I need to make sure that every single team member understands the basics and really can start thinking about how can they apply and leverage AI within their workflows and the projects that we have in the roadmap. So very exciting.
I think everyone, as an example, at GroWrk, should have an AI agent, should have an AI twin, right? So there should be Carlos AI, and so
100%.
to help you, get through your day much faster.
For sure, 100%. No, and we're working on that. We have some very exciting projects around AI agents within GroWrk, which you will learn more about in the coming months. But I guess one final question from my end would be: what are your views around security? What security considerations should IT leaders should think about whenever they start thinking about implementing AI tools? You want to make sure that proprietary data is not being used to train sort of models, et cetera, et cetera. What do you think, especially with the background or being part of a healthcare board? I'm pretty sure that's a big thing, and we've heard that from some customers too, that they want to be careful about not diving 100% into AI without understanding the security considerations of whatever decision is made today, right?
Yeah. Well, I think regardless AI or not AI, I think that you should always, as a technology leader, someone in IT, even now, with the world of AI where it's going, security should be a consideration right from the very beginning. As an IT leader, as a CIO, before people would build applications, people would build systems, and then, oh, by the way, that we should probably look at the security posture of that, right? Mm-hmm. Or we should be and now today with AI, with a lot of these tools that are just like popping up like crazy, I think it's important for every organization to be thinking, or I call it shifting security left, right from the beginning. And security, identity, what industry am I in? Am I in healthcare? What are the kinds of things I need to be considering around compliance? If I'm in financials, what are those things that are, if I have information about Carlos's accounts that in AI, if I'm using an AI tool or a front end and he's asking me for, account information, I better be giving it to him in a secure and accurate way. So if you are a creator or a builder of AI, applications, you better be considering security and identity and who am I when I'm getting, prescribed certain things. If I'm an AI, if I'm an organization, especially if I'm an IT leader, I better be thinking about security, identity, how I'm managing my organization, and then ultimately, how do tools get implemented or acquired in my organization, and then what kind of posture do I run through, right? And I think honestly, that's where GroWrk has a great opportunity, is that is being able to show and share that we come in with that posture already, and those thoughts already, and to be able to show the value and the impact of that. And now for GroWrk, adding AI is just a layer on top of already a very security minded architecture to begin with, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%, Guillermo. Great. Well, Guillermo, this has been a fascinating conversation. And are there any, final thoughts or advice you'd like to share with IT leaders who are navigating this, AI-driven transformation?
No, I would just say it is a transformation, and you have to look at it that way. And I would say that not only looking at AI transformation as what your organization is doing, but my final message is that you need to be thinking about your own transformation. And like we said, is like, hey, I may not be replaced by AI. Maybe, who knows, maybe I will. But more than likely, I'm getting replaced by somebody that has knowledge and has spent the time in improving themselves, getting literate, and and just becoming an AI. Sort of the world's there. The rocket ship is left. If you don't believe it, go look at go look at the adoption rates. You'll see. And if you're not part of that rocket ship, you're going to be on you're going to be on the bench, and you're potentially stay on the bench, right?
I could not agree more. Well, thank you so much for your time and insights, Guillermo. For everyone watching, listening to this, stay tuned for more episodes of GroWrk Visionaries as we bring you more conversations with the brightest minds shaping the future of IT and the workplace. Thank you, Guillermo. Thanks, everyone. Until next time.